What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to do what's next for the Los Angeles Angels. They have the two best players in baseball, arguably, in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, but they cannot make the playoffs. They cannot seem to get it together and stuff. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. What's next for the LA Angels? So let's go ahead and get into this video with what's next for the Los Angeles Angels. And let's go ahead and start off with the free agents that they signed pre-lockout. They actually made some big splashes pre-lockout, signing Noah Syndergaard, Aaron Loup, Michael Lorenzen, and Raisel Iglesias. They signed quite a few pretty big free agents. Aaron Loup had a really good year, 1 ERA for the New York Mets last year. Had a really good year for the New York Mets. Maybe he can show and be productive like that in 2022 for the Los Angeles Angels. Noah Syndergaard's a big risk with the injuries in the past, but he has proven to be a very good player in the past. And this is a guy that has a lot of potential. It's just about him staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, then he's going to be a good number 1 or number 2 in that rotation. Raisel Iglesias showed and proved that he could be a very valuable closer for the Los Angeles Angels last year, which earned him a 4-year, $60 million payday this offseason, which was a big payday for Raisel Iglesias, who was a guy that was with the Reds, kind of just didn't really have much to look forward to. And now there's something to look forward to with Raisel Iglesias. Another former Red, and Michael Lorenzen came over. He might be their 5th starter as of right now. We'll see. Next up, they're on free agents. No important at all. There's nobody important at all, really, on their free agent that's going to make a big impact next year. They already re-signed Raisel Iglesias, who is their main free agent this offseason. Next up, their needs this offseason. They need starting pitching, mainly 1 starter. Relief pitching, probably could use one or two relievers. They could bring in somebody like Ryan Tepera, Kenley Jansen. Both of those could be very valuable options. Kenley's more of a closer type guy, so maybe you don't bring him in. Maybe you bring in somebody in an 8th inning role like Ryan Tepera. And then shortstop, I think, is the need. Tyler Wade's the starting shortstop right now. Tyler Wade's solid, but is he good? Absolutely not. I think that they could definitely use somebody else at the shortstop position. The Angels' free agent targets this offseason, there's a long list. Starting off with Matthew Boyd. Boyd's a guy who got actually non-tendered by the Detroit Tigers, which was surprising to me. So the Tigers non-tendered him, but low-key he had a pretty good season for the Tigers last year, posting a 3-8 record with a 3.68 ERA and only 15 starts, 78 innings, 67 strikeouts, and a 1.27 whip. Not a really bad year for Matt Boyd at all. I think he actually had a pretty solid year, and if you're bringing him in as your number 5 starter, I think that's something that you could be, pretty excited about. There's a little upside there. I think that's something as your 5 starter you'd be pretty happy with. But a lot of teams could use somebody like Matthew Boyd as a back-end rotation arm. A lot of teams could use him. Next guy on our list, the next person is Archie Bradley, a bullpen arm that was signed as a decently big bullpen arm for the Phillies last offseason. Only 29 years old, and he was the 7th overall pick in 2011 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. He posted a 7-3 record with a 3.71 ERA in 53 games, 51 innings, 40 strikeouts. This guy's got the stuff. I think that the Angels should maybe take a chance on him, get him to possibly be that 8th inning guy for this team, and he'd be pretty solid, I think, doing that for the Los Angeles Angels. He did have a little bit of injury troubles. Next up, another bullpen arm, and that is Trevor Rosenthal. Trevor Rosenthal was with the Oakland Athletics in 2021, but didn't pitch at all, so that signing for $11 million was a waste of money for the Oakland Athletics, basically. There was no point in really signing him, which they didn't know, but he, like I said, had some injury troubles, and he didn't have a 2021 season. Posted a really good 2020 season between St. Louis and San Diego, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so we don't really know what he's going to be in 2022, but this may be a guy that you can take a chance on, and he could prove to be worth that risk that you do indeed take on it. Next guy is a little more proven, and that's going to be Richard Rodriguez, another guy that was surprisingly non-tendered by the Atlanta Braves, and a lot of people were surprised by that considering they gave up a decent package to trade for him at last trade deadline. Rodriguez Posted a 4-4 record with a 2.94 ERA between Pittsburgh and Atlanta last year. Wasn't even added to the postseason roster either. Just a weird trade for me. Really weird. I was excited about the move at the time, but there was clearly no point being excited about it considering that the Braves never really used him, weirdly. And next guy is a guy that would be top of their rotation. And that's going to be lefty Carlos Rendon, who had a breakout 2021 season after being a high overall pick when he was drafted in 2014, I'm pretty sure, maybe. Yep, 2014, third overall by the White Sox out of North Carolina State. And in 2021, he posted a 13-5 record with a 2.37 ERA. And he's proven to be pretty decent over 7 seasons in his career, posting a career 3.79 ERA, which is pretty solid for a guy like Carlos Rendon, who's been injured a lot and banged up a lot. They took the risky signing with somebody like Noah Syndergaard. They took the risky signing there. Do they take the risky signing? Their long-term contracts haven't been that good. Recently, having guys like Justin Upton, Albert Pujols on the contracts. Anthony Rendon even looks like a bad contract now. So, I mean, you look, giving out long contracts is just not really the thing for the Los Angeles Angels, so maybe they should look somewhere else because, like I said, that's just not their key thing. And the last player on their free agent targets list is Clayton Kershaw. And Kershaw is a guy that, has been with the Dodgers his whole career. The Dodgers didn't offer him a qualifying offer. He had some shoulder issues. He's been injured quite a bit over the last couple of years. Do the Dodgers move on from somebody like Kershaw? Does Kershaw consider retirement? Does he go back to his hometown in Texas? What does Clayton Kershaw do? He's 33 years old right now, and he posted a 10-8 record with a 3.55 ERA, 22 games started, 121 innings pitched, 144 strikeouts, and a 1.02 WHIP in 2021. So, those are their free agent targets. And next up is the Angels trade targets. They have a long list of trade targets as well. First guy is Paul DeJong. I think Paul DeJong's somebody they should really look after, because DeJong is a guy that, he hasn't really proven to be much with the St. Louis Cardinals over the last couple of years. He got his shortstop spot really taken by Mundo Sosa in 2021. So Paul DeJong, man, he's not doing too well right now. So could the Cardinals look to trade him? And I don't think you would have to give up a big package either. This could be something that could very much so happen. Him only being 28 years old too. In 2021, he posted 19 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 197 batting average, 284 on base, 390 slugging, and an OPS of 674. They could really, they don't need the power in their lineup, but they need a new shortstop, I think. And Paul DeJong's somebody that they could look at. Next up's a pair of Reds pitchers in Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle. I feel like I've already covered these guys like 5 times in these What's Next videos. Next guy is Michael Fulmer. Fulmer is the guy that they could look at as a 7th, 8th inning type setup guy in their bullpen. I think they could definitely, of course, use that because they just don't have a good bullpen. Pretty simple. And for Fulmer, last year, 5-6 with a 2.97 ERA for Fulmer last year. Next guy is another Reds pitcher, Sonny Gray. Feel like I've covered him a lot in other videos. And the other one's Chris Bassett. In division trade, doubt it'll happen that Chris Bassett, Frankie Montas, any of those guys really realistically come to the Angels. That's just in division trade stuff. Just doesn't seem to happen a lot. And next up is our mock trade for today's video. I think that the Angels, could sign some of these guys that I talked about, like Clayton Kershaw, Carlos Rendon. I think that actually kind of could happen. But I think that they should kind of go for the valued guys and players like Richard Rodriguez, Matthew Boyd, I think actually fill out this team very well. And that's what I think they need. I think they need more depth. I think they need stuff like that. And I think that they do need one starting pitcher, though. I think that they should sign Matthew Boyd, Richard Rodriguez, some of those guys, but I think this one starting pitcher would really help them. And that's Tyler Mahle from the Cincinnati Reds. This is a Tyler Mahle to the Los Angeles Angels block trade. In this trade, the Angels received Tyler Mahle. Reds received Jeremiah Jackson, a shortstop, the Angels number 5 prospect. Davis Daniel, an Angels number 21 prospect, right-hander. And Edgar Querio, a catcher, Angels number 19 prospect. Why this happens for the Reds? Why the Reds would accept this, even though they're not getting top guys in this trade. I think that they accept this because this fills in a lot of needs that they have. Shortstop, Jeremiah Jackson. That's a guy that they need. That's a guy, you know what I mean, that they could use. And I think this same package could work to get somebody like Sonny Gray. I think Sonny Gray definitely could go to the Angels as well, with them probably wanting to get off that contract. 2, I think this could work for Tyler Mahle, Sonny Gray, Luis Castillo, all of them. I think Luis Castillo, personally, I think he has the most trade value out of them all. And for this, Jeremiah Jackson, shortstop, number 5 prospect for the Los Angeles Angels. He's a good shortstop. They need a shortstop. Fits there. Davis Daniel, a righty. The Reds always can use starting pitchers. They always develop them really well. And a catcher in Edward Querio. They need a catcher. I just think that this trade fits both sides a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense for both teams to do this trade. And I think that, of course, this Tyler Mahle trade doesn't just somebody the Angels need in their rotation. Then they find somebody like Syndergaard who's got plenty of lefty. And yeah, they could definitely use somebody like that. So I think that is what's next for the Los Angeles Angels. Make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications, because like I said, if you want great baseball content throughout the offseason, throughout the lockout, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this is so cool. We're going to be very nice to make sure you turn notifications and drop a like.
Of the year.